It's May 26, 1993. AC Milan is playing Marseille in the Champions League final, led by none other than Marco van Basten. But who would have guessed that this game would turn out to be his last at just 28 years old? A prime Van Basten, having won 3 Ballon d'Ors, now walking away from the game he loved. It marked the end of a legendary career, tragically cut short by injury. Starting his career just at the age of 16, he was signed by Ajax from FC Utrecht. It's 1981, and the Dutch legend Johan Cruyff had just returned to Ajax as a player. Cruyff, seeing the potential in the young Van Basten, took him under his wing, training with the youth team, and it wasn't long before he made his first team debut. Only a year later, he replaced Cruyff in the second half and scored within 10 minutes of coming onto the pitch. Over the next few seasons, Van Basten's talent became undeniable. By the 1983 to 1984 season, after star striker Wim Kieft left for Italy, Van Basten took over as the team's primary striker. From that year, he dominated the Dutch league, winning 4 consecutive Eredivisie top scorer titles and earning the European Golden Boot in 1986, with an astounding 37 goals in 26 matches. Despite battling injuries even then, Van Basten's technical ability to score from virtually any situation with his right foot, left foot, or head made him a complete dominant striker. But as Van Basten's career continued to rise, so did his struggles with injury. In 1986, he twisted his right ankle and soon after decided to undergo surgery on his left ankle, which had been causing him discomfort for months, issues he would battle for the rest of his career. Despite these injuries, Van Basten's goal-scoring record at Ajax was remarkable: 138 goals in 145 matches. In the summer of 1987, after winning several domestic titles with Ajax, Van Basten made the leap to AC Milan, joining fellow Dutch star Ruud Gullit, and later Frank Rijkaard. This move was the beginning of a new chapter, not only for Van Basten, but also for Milan, as the club had recently been purchased by Silvio Berlusconi. The Rossoneri were on a mission to rebuild, having gone through some dark years, including relegation to Serie B. Milan also brought in Arrigo Sacchi, a relatively unknown coach from Parma, who brought with him a revolutionary high-pressing and attacking style of football. His tactic, combined with the Dutch talents of Van Basten, Gullit, and Rijkaard, transformed Milan into one of the most dominant teams in European football. Unfortunately, Van Basten's ankle problems followed him to Italy. By October of his first season, he was sidelined due to recurring ankle pain. After consulting with independent doctors, he underwent another surgery, this time in Barcelona. This surgery kept him out of action for 6 months, but he returned just in time for a crucial match against title rivals Napoli, led by Diego Maradona. Milan would go on to win the match 3-2, with Van Basten making an appearance that helped secure their first Scudetto since 1979. However, his true comeback on the world stage came during the 1988 European Championship, where he led the Netherlands to victory, scoring one of the most famous goals in football history, a stunning volley in the final against the Soviet Union. Upon returning to Milan after the Euros, Van Basten was filled with confidence, and it showed in his performances. He played a crucial role in Milan's success over the next few years, helping them win back-to-back European Cups in 1989 and 1990. In the 1989 final against Steaua Bucharest, Milan dominated with a 4-0 victory, and Van Basten was at the heart of it, scoring and setting up goals. This marked Milan's first European Cup in 20 years. Van Basten's individual brilliance didn't go unnoticed, as he won his first Ballon d'Or in 1988. Despite injury problems for both him and Gullit, Milan repeated their European success the following season, defeating Benfica 1-0 in the final, with Van Basten providing the assist for Rijkaard's winning goal. He went on to win his second consecutive Ballon d'Or in 1989. By 1992, Van Basten had won his third Ballon d'Or, joining Johan Cruyff and Michel Platini as the only players to have won the award 3 times. Despite winning the Scudetto again in 92, as part of Milan's Invincibles team that went unbeaten throughout the season, Van Basten's ankle problems worsened. By the time the 1992-93 season came around, he was struggling to maintain his fitness as injuries took over. Following the final, Van Basten underwent multiple surgeries in a desperate attempt to save his career. Doctors tried various methods, but no surgery went as planned. The pain in his right ankle was unbearable. By the time Milan reached the Champions League final in May 1993, Van Basten was far from fit. He played through the pain with the help of injections, but was clearly struggling on the pitch. In the 85th minute, he was substituted and needed to watch from the sidelines as Milan lost 1-0 to Marseille. Months turned into years, and little did anyone know that this would be Van Basten's last appearance as a professional footballer. Surgery after surgery, with failure after failure, and eventually Van Basten accepted the harsh reality that he would never be able to play again. In 1995, he announced his retirement. His professional career, cut short at the age of 30, stood at 300 goals in 431 matches, but those numbers only tell part of the story. Beyond the statistics, Van Basten's influence on modern football is profound. His style of play has inspired generations of strikers who followed in his footsteps. Players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Robert Lewandowski have cited Van Basten as an inspiration. His impact on the game, particularly in the way he combined physicality with finesse, remains evident today. Marco Van Basten's career was a story of both brilliance and heartbreak. At his peak, he was a player who could do it all: score with either foot, win headers, and execute acrobatic volleys. His tactical intelligence and ability to find space made him nearly impossible to defend against. He was one of the most complete strikers the game has ever seen. Though his career was tragically cut short, Van Basten left an indelible mark on football. While his story is one of what-ifs, his legacy is that of an immortal football legend whose brilliance will never be forgotten. Had he stayed fit, there's no telling how much more he could have achieved.